Guys, welcome to today's video where I want to talk to you about how the Lexus GX470 drivetrain works and how locking differentials can provide immense benefits in off-road performance. I want you to check out this classic video on how a differential works and why we need differentials on our vehicles. It shows you how gears are just spinning levers and has this great illustration on why differentials are needed, how they work in the most basic principles that can really help you understand what's going on inside of your front and rear axle, as well as your center differential. Losing traction at one side of the vehicle when off-roading can be extremely frustrating. And of course, we have A-Track, which pulsates the brake on the spinning wheel side. As you'll find out later in this video, power always travels to the path of least resistance. And so A-Track pulsates the brake to try to minimize that loss of torque. But it's not completely effective at getting you through obstacles in all situations, and that's where lockers come in. All right guys, let's see what the diffs perform like on a normal stock vehicle when they're open. As you can see, when I turn this one, the other one turns the opposite way. The important thing though is that one is spinning freely when I turn this one. All right, now let's lock the differential. There you go, it just engaged right there. See, now this axle is locked together. All right, let's just turn it off. I'm gonna press the button. And now we should be back. Yep, disengages immediately. So we're back to spinning freely again. To better illustrate how the Lexus GX470 drivetrain works, I hopped on and learned Unity in a couple hours and made this quick and dirty 3D model of how the whole drivetrain is set up. So of course, up front we have the engine, and that sends power, or torque rather, to the transmission, which sends torque to the transfer case. And from the transfer case, which has two speeds, high and low, we go out through both front and rear drive shafts, and then we go to the front and rear differentials out to the axle shafts on both sides. And we also don't want to forget about our center differential with a differential lock function, which is what you see below the air conditioning controls on the Lexus GX470. So as a quick recap, torque is generated at the engine, and that torque is sent through the transmission through a variety of gears. Let's just say we're in fourth gear to keep it at a 1-to-1 ratio. And then that goes to the transfer case, which the high range is also 1-to-1 ratio. So that's no underdrive or overdrive. And the transfer case splits torque between the rear and the front drive shafts to the rear and the front differentials, which send that torque out through the axle shafts to your wheels. And that is how we get torque from the engine in the Lexus GX470 down to the ground. Now let's remember that the transfer case also has a differential. And when you have a differential, remember, power always goes the path of least resistance. So when the differential is unlocked, power will try to travel the path of least resistance. So when it's unlocked, you're not in four-wheel drive. It's not splitting torque 50-50 to the front and the rear. It actually has a torsion limited slip differential. So it can send a certain percentage of torque to the free spinning wheels, but that is not four-wheel drive. That's all-wheel drive mode. So you're in all-wheel drive all the time in your GX470 until you hit the center differential lock, which puts you into four-wheel drive. Now that torque is being split 50-50, and there's no slip between the front and the rear axle. In this scenario I'm showing on screen, we are in four-wheel drive mode with the center differential locked. We have power going the path of least resistance in the rear axle. So as you can see, we have a rock on the passenger side and the driver's side is up in the air. So power, of course, is going the path of least resistance to the driver's side wheel. And the same scenario is playing out in the opposite way on the front. The driver's side wheel has traction, but the passenger side wheel is up in the air. So, of course, power is going to go the path of least resistance up there as well. What happens when you have locking front and rear differentials is that when you find yourself in this diagonally offset traction limited situation, you can hit the lockers on the rear or the front or both to get yourself out of here. The center differential lock can't help you here because you have one of each wheels at the driven axles up in the air without traction. Again, 8-track can help mitigate this by pulsating the brake on the spinning wheel, but this can only go so far, and when the terrain gets really steep and extreme, its effectiveness is not only less predictable than locking differentials, but it's also not nearly as effective as locking differentials at getting torque to the ground. If you saw my recent video on how to choose your re-gear ratio for the Toyota platforms, which you could check out here, you know that I recently went to CB Built and got a full re-gear and front and rear air locking differentials for my Lexus GX470. There are a couple different types of selectable locking differentials you can go with when you install them on your Toyota platform vehicle or other off-roader. You can go with an electronic type locking differential, which is more the OEM style. All you have to do is route wiring there, so some think it's more simple and less likely to fail. However, I went with the air locking style because I already have an onboard air system that was ready to receive all these air locker solenoids and things like that. Also, air lockers have been known to engage and disengage much quicker and easier than electronic locking differentials, as you might notice from your GX470's center locker that sometimes takes a while to engage. You need to roll back and forth to get it to engage, things like that. As you saw near the beginning of this video, these air lockers engage immediately. So here I am just installing the air locker solenoids, which simply let compressed air flow into the locking differentials when I hit the switch on my switch panel. Alright, you guys, so we have all the lines connected. Okay, solenoids are here, and the air lines need to come out of here and go that way. This one's going to be tight, boys. So yeah, we're gonna see how this goes. I'm going to feed the lines through the bottom here, underneath the brake fluid reservoir, and up through these sort of connectors here to the brake booster motor and stuff like that. So we shall see if this works. So this is the kind of bolted in location, and yeah, we're gonna have to figure out a way to get straight through these plugs, and it should work out. We'll find out. This one should be no problem. So once the lines are shortened down to length, we're ready to install our compression fitting on the air locker solenoid. This just has a brass ring inside that kind of squishes onto the airline, as you'll see here. So you install the compression fitting onto the locker solenoid, press the airline into the compression fitting, and then as you tighten and cinch that down, that brass fitting crushes itself onto the airline, and that's what creates a bulletproof seal. Ideally, I'm hoping these things don't leak. So again, I'm pushing the airline into the compression fitting and just tightening it down with a wrench. And this is how the lines ended up being routed. It's really tight back here, as you can see, but I think I have it set up to where it'll be a nice, reliable setup for the long term. Now all I need to do is plug the air compressor electronics back in, and we should be ready to test. But before that, I have to dig the connectors that I previously installed into my switch panel for the air locker solenoids out of the side here and plug those in. So we got our two yellow rear locker, green front locker. Let's go. Beautiful. How easy is that? Our front locker is dark green, and that just goes like that. Wow, we might have done a thing, boys. Let's see if it works. Slight air leak somewhere. Slight air leak is on the rear the rear locker compression fitting, so I'm just gonna tighten this down more and see if that helps. All right, here is so it's the manifold is full of air right now. Let's see if they work. Front, nice. Rear. All right, I'm gonna discharge the rear and then discharge the front. I think I did a thing, you guys. Triple lock now, baby. Let's go. Let's try. I'm gonna fill it up with air one more time. I think just tightening the heck out of it worked. Wow, cool. All right, I'm gonna try front locker, rear locker. Okay, lost a little air. Discharge rear, discharge front. Alright guys, well hopefully you learned something about how your Lexus GX470 drivetrain works and how differentials work. I don't want this video to seem like I'm hating on differentials because we need differentials to protect the integrity of our drivetrains. If we drove around with completely locked drivetrains, we would break stuff all the time. We wouldn't be able to turn on the road correctly and we would create a lot of chaos out there, crashing all the time. Differentials are necessary, but having that selectable locking capability makes your vehicle extremely capable off-road. While 8-track might be sufficient for 99% of off-roaders, lockers get you to the next level. So guys, let me know if you enjoyed today's video. Sorry I had to take a little bit of a break. We got influenza, had to fly back east to see family for Thanksgiving, all that good stuff, but I have a ton more content incoming. So please hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff, because we're gonna be coming at you with a crazy 2023 on this channel. So we'll see you in the next video.